I asked you what was a claim. I asked you what you needed in order to prove a claim, right? So all this time that Ms. Ramsey's been working, I've been kind of trying to figure out, I was like, you know, I've had multiple different jobs, but I never really knew like how one job would help another, right? So like if you were a cashier before, then maybe it may help you become a great accountant later, because you're dealing with money and then you're like managing money. Like they all kind of go together, right? But Ms. Ramsey's jobs kind of didn't go together. I'm just gonna be real with you. They didn't go together. So before I was a teacher, I had this job title called claims adjuster, okay? That's what my job was. And as a claims adjuster, I worked for Progressive, like with Flo. I also worked for Allstate Insurance, right? Okay. I've worked in those two companies. And as a claims adjuster, it was my job that when two people had a car accident, they would call their insurance company. Don't run that pencil sharpener while I'm teaching.
No, I have to go to
okay. The insurance, they would call their insurance company and they would say, hello, Asia, you've been assigned as my adjuster. I had a wreck. And they're either going to tell me, hey, it's my fault and I need to make sure y'all take care of the other person. They're going to tell me, hey, it's the other person's fault and they need to take care of me. Or they'll say, hey, I don't know whose fault it is and I need y'all's help. Okay, that's the three things that happen, right? So to help them and to make it something that made sense, when they filed their claim with their insurance company, it was my job to contact the drivers, get their statements about what happened, look at the police report, figure out what the police had to say about it. Sometimes I would have to get in my car and go, well, it was a company car, get in my company car and go to the scene and measure out like, okay, did they really take a right turn here or did they really take a left turn? Is it possible to run this red light right here? Like I have to do a scene investigation. Sometimes I would have to call witnesses and say, hey, call restaurants. Can I pull the cameras? Can I look at that information? I need to see what happened, right? All of this as a claims adjuster for the person submitting the claim was my attempt to collect evidence, right? I needed evidence in order to prove the claim in one way or the other. So in this, I want you to think about this like this. Sharon and Isaac have a car wreck. Okay, Sharon and Isaac have a car wreck. Isaac is this famous artist, and he uses his hands to draw all of these famous art pieces for billboards, and he's like working in cartoons, and he took over all of the anime cartoons, and he's their leading picture director for anime, right? So he is rich at this point, like super, super rich. He has like 3 Teslas and like an SUV and like a car and everything, right? So he has this, right? Isaac is the bomb. He uses his hands every day to do his work. Sharon has become a pro athlete, right? She grew up and became a pro athlete, but she plays more than one sport. She plays she plays soccer and she's an MMA fighter. Okay? She's an MMA fighter. Mixed martial arts. Like boom, boom. Okay? So she's an MMA fighter and she plays soccer. In this wreck that they have, they both hit each other. And they're rich, right? They both drive Teslas. They hit each other and they tear up the Teslas so bad that they cannot be fixed and they cannot be driven ever again. Isaac broke both of his arms and Sharon broke a leg. Can you imagine how much money it's going to cost to fix these people in these cars? It's going to cost a lot of money, right? So when Isaac calls Asia at Progressive and say, hey, Asia, I have a claim. This lady, Sharon, hit me. She tore up my car. My arms are broken. I can no longer do my job. What is he going to expect for me to do? I'm going to help him. And how am I going to help him with his claim? I'm going to collect evidence, right? So I'm going to collect evidence. Meanwhile, Sharon has called her insurance company over at Geico. And she called Geico and she said, hey, I was in this car wreck and this guy named Isaac hit me. It's his fault. And now my leg is broken. I'm never going to play soccer again. And I can't be an MMA fighter. I'm going to be broke because it's his fault. I want y'all to figure this out and make him pay. So what is Sharon's adjuster at Geico going to do? They're going to be collecting evidence, all right? So Asia's gonna get all her, and y'all know my first name is Asia, right? Yeah. Okay, so Asia's gonna get all her evidence together, and Mr. Geico man is gonna get all his evidence together. And at the end of the day, Asia's gonna call over to Mr. Geico man and say, "Hello, Mr. Geico man. This is Asia at Progressive. How are you today? Oh, no one cares. I just want to let you know that I've collected all the evidence and I've closed my claim. At this point, we've determined that your driver is indeed responsible for the accident. We've handled the damages, but I'm gonna send you the bill, and I expect payment within 30 days." He's gonna say, "Well, I'm sorry that you feel that way, Miss Asia, ma'am, but we've also done our investigation. We've collected our evidence, and we've determined that your driver is responsible for the accident, and we've handled damage, and now we're gonna send you the bill." Now, what's gonna happen there?
Court.
Absolutely. So what's gonna happen is we're gonna take Mr. Geico man and Asia from Progressive, and we're gonna go see Melanie. We're gonna go see Melanie, and Melanie, she is also an insurance adjuster. She's a claims adjuster, but she does not know Sharon or Isaac or Asia or Mr. Geico man. She doesn't know any of us. The only thing she knows is the file folder. So I'm gonna drop my file folder on her desk. Mr. Geico man's gonna drop his file folder, and Melanie's gonna look at both files, and she's gonna say, "According to the evidence, it appears that Sharon is at fault and Sharon owes for the accident." And no matter what I think or no matter what anyone else thinks, if Melanie says it was Sharon's fault, based on the evidence, that's who's gonna have to pay. Now, how do you think Sharon is gonna feel about her insurance company if her claims adjuster didn't give her enough evidence to win? She's mad because now Isaac is not going to pay for her broken leg, and she can't play soccer, and she can't be in MMA, and she doesn't have a Tesla anymore. And Isaac is not paying for it because Melanie said it's not his fault based on the evidence. Sharon is going to be upset, so she's going to use her good arms because Isaac doesn't have any. She just has bad legs. She's going to use her good arms, and she's going to get on social media, and she's going to drag her insurance company through the mud. She's going to say, "Mr. Geico man is horrible. He ain't no good. Take your insurance away from Mr. Geico man. Never go to Geico because they don't collect good evidence, and you're going to end up paying for other people's stuff when it's not even your fault." It's going to be bad. It's going to be super, super bad. So what's the point of having a claim without evidence?
It's like peanut butter jelly sandwiches without the peanut butter and jelly.
It's like peanut butter jelly sandwiches without the peanut butter jelly. Right? It's not gonna make. Look at Isaac's arms after the accident. I need y'all to see this. So, I told you all of that. I'm so excited that I finally got a chance to tie in because I did that for almost 10 years before I was a teacher. That was my whole job. For almost 10 years, it was a really fun job until I had to call somebody's mom and be like, "I'm sorry, your son died in the car wreck." Like, that did happen too. I really hated those days. But that was my job. And I'm so happy I was able to bring that to my classroom because for 10 years I worked on claims and evidence. And now as a teacher, I get to remind you of claim and evidence. Do not make a claim. Do not make a claim. Do not make a claim without evidence. Do not make a claim without evidence. You cannot state anything without evidence because a claim is simply your opinion about an issue. And who cares about your opinion? If you don't have an opinion, it's just like a foot. We all have one, okay? At least one. At least a foot. You don't have a foot? Yeah. See, it didn't matter because it's just an opinion. See? So, if you're going to make a claim, you got to have what? Evidence. All right.